Well, the U.S. House of Representatives will vote this week on whether or not to reauthorize the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, known as FISA. And essentially, this would extend the government's power to warrantlessly wiretap Americans for another 5 years. The vote is scheduled for today, but under closed rule, which means no amendments may be offered. And even though the House is expected to approve FISA, there's a lot of what both we and they don't know about it. Like how many Americans would be surveilled, or who is surveilled is determined. RT producer Adriana Ucero joins me now.
Hey.
Adriana, I saw you just a little earlier kind of keeping your eyes out on this hearing. What are we seeing? What's the latest?
Essentially, what we're seeing right now is just within the hour allotted to it, a healthy debate on the House floor.
1 hour, only 1 hour is allotted.
Only 1 hour. So we see it rather, going down party lines with many Republicans arguing for the passage of this, or reauthorization, if you will, and then many notable Democrats arguing not against the passage, but for us to take a step back and actually go through certain aspects of the FISA bill as it is right now.
And we should actually mention that we're showing a live look at what we're seeing in the House of Representatives right now, them talking and debating on it. So certainly this is a big deal, especially for those of us who follow it.
Yes, incredibly. I mean, and it should be a big deal for Americans in general. And there were some notable quotes really just earlier right now. Notable Democrats, Sheila Jackson Lee, Dennis Kucinich, John Conyers have all come out really asking Congress to not reauthorize the bill for 5 years, to take a step back, only reauthorize for 3, and also try to get more transparency and more oversight, more congressional oversight when dealing with this. Because right now there essentially is none. And there was something very interesting that John Conyers from Michigan stated, was the fact that Senators Udall and Wyden asked the government,
they asked for basic information. They didn't ask anything too complicated. They asked for basic information.
Essentially asking, so how many people are surveilled right now? And the answer that they got from the NSA was, we don't know. Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah, so, they couldn't even acknowledge that it was actually happening. We're in election season. We're about 8 weeks away from the election, a little bit less. So let's look back 4 years ago, a little more than 4 years ago. Candidate Obama spoke about this issue and his thoughts on warrantless wiretapping. So let's hear what he had to say.
I will provide our intelligence and law enforcement agencies with the tools they need to track and take out the terrorists without undermining our Constitution and our freedom. That means no more illegal wiretapping of American citizens. No more national security letters to spy on citizens who are not suspected of a crime. No more tracking citizens who do nothing more than protest a misguided war.
So, Adriana, let's talk. I mean, do we have concrete evidence that President Obama has changed his tune since that speech?
I mean, arguably, yes, very much so. And even right now, within that hearing, there were many Republicans that were arguing the fact that in 2008, when this was reintroduced and reauthorized again, it was bipartisan. Nancy Pelosi herself was touting it as a win for security and somewhat necessary in order to keep tabs on the nation and its fight against terrorism. So absolutely.
Really quick, Adriana, I want to switch gears while I have you here because you're sort of a mini expert on this. It's not just FISA. I also want to talk about cybersecurity legislation. We saw SOPA, the Stop Island Piracy Act, PIPA, the Protect IP Act. We saw them fail. That was followed by CISPA, the Cybersecurity Sharing, Information Sharing and Protection Act. All of those failed. So now what we're seeing, we're now getting reports that President Obama plans to issue an executive order dealing with cybersecurity concerns. What can you tell me in 30 seconds?
30 seconds or less. Essentially, it looks very likely that that is the case. Mike Rogers, the author of CISPA, a man who was actually talking right now a few moments ago on the floor of the House, sees it very likely that this will be coming within a few months, really. So we shall see. We shall see. All signs point to yes.
Yeah, there's a lot that we need to keep our eyes on regarding the future of internet freedom, really. RT producer Adriana Ucero, thanks so much.